Hi friends, thank you for joining in today's tutorial. If today is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, please don't hesitate, just hit on that subscribe button, okay? Like, share the video as well, and also hit on that notification bell so that each time I upload a new video, you'll be the first to be notified. So here we have 6 yards of Ankara fabric. Okay, so I'll be making use of this fabric to cut out and sew a princess blouse with peplum, a peplum princess blouse. Okay, just as what you are seeing on the screen, that is how we're going to demonstrate it. The only difference is that the neckline will be V shape. It will not have that collar shape. Okay, yeah, so now let's dive into our tutorial proper. I've gone ahead and folded. For the front bodies, I'm going to cut the front bodies first, which is the princess, that after which I'll cut the back bodies. Okay, so now folded the fabric into 2. Then to determine the amount of fabric you fold, I'll use the highest body circumference. For the upper bodies, the higher body circumference is the bust measurement. So the bust is 38 into 4, because we'll be cutting the front and the back. Okay, so into 4 we have the 9.5. Here we have 9.5. So I went ahead and added extra 5 inches. Okay, so this will be enough. 5 or 6 inches will be enough for cutting out your bust here. So now, and I've also marked our starting line, which is this line. This will serve as the shoulder line. So what I'm going to do now is to take down the vertical measurement. Okay, so from my shoulder, the full length of my upper bodies, okay, the full length of the blouse is 25 inches. But for the half length, I'm going to cut the half length first, after which on the half length I will attach the peplum. Okay, it's a 2-step peplum. But first of all, we're going to cut the half length. Okay, so the half length is 16 inches, but I'm going to add extra 2 inches. Okay, this is always good to be on the safer side. Okay, so that after cutting out your princess dart, you will not run shortage of the half length. So I went ahead and added extra 2 inches. That's altogether we have 18 inches there. This is for the front. So what I'm going to do now, from the shoulder to my bust point of my client is 11 inches. I'll mark 11. The under bust is 14.5. So I'll mark 14.5, like so. So I'll extend the lines. Like so. So I've gone ahead and extended the lines. Okay, so what next I will do now is to take in my horizontal measurement. So the shoulder measurement of my client is 16 into 2. I have 8. Okay, but because I'm going to add sleeve to it, I'm going to add just ½ inch to this. So I have 8.5. Okay, so at this point 8.5, I'm going to come down for my shoulder slant. That's just 1 inch, like so. What next I'm going to do is to mark down the neck width and the neck depth. But first of all, I'm going to mark the neck width. Neck width of my client, I'm going to mark 3.5. We'll use 3.5. That's for the neck width, like so. Okay, so what next I'm going to do, from the shoulder slant I'll connect to the neck width. So that's it. Okay, from my slant to the shoulder. So that's that. So I'm going to mark down the armhole depth. Remember I said it's 16 divided by 2, that is 8. Another way is you can check your armhole depth is the bust circumference of your client divided by 6 plus 1.5. Okay, for mine, what I have there is 8 inches. I'll mark 8, like so. This will also serve as the chest line. So So I went ahead and marked 8 inches like so. So from here I'll connect it to meet the shoulder measurement. Okay, so here is our armhole depth. Okay, so what next I will do now is to mark the nipple to nipple measurement of my client, which is 8. Okay, divide by 4 by 2 rather, we have 4 inches. So I'm going to add just ½ inch for joining. So what we are going to mark here is 4.5 like so. I'll mark 4.5 all the way straight, 4.5 like so. 4.5. So I'm going to take it all the way to the half length. So I'll connect it in a straight line. That's it. So that's for the nipple to nipple measurement. So what I'm going to do next is, this is the bust, this is our bust, the bust measurement or the bust point. Okay, this is the under bust, this is the under bust, and this is the half length. Okay, so now what I will do, coming down to the under bust at the center side, from the bust circumference of my client is 38, from 32 to 36 at the center side you can come in 1.5 inches. Okay, from 36 to 40 and come in 2 inches. So I'm going to mark 2 inches at this side. Okay, then on this other side, this center front, okay, that is the folded edge, I'll mark just ½ inch. Okay, like so. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this in a slanted form, okay, to meet the bust point. But before then, at the bust point area, I will move sharpness at the bust point. So I'm going to come up ½ inch. You can make it 1 inch or ½ inch. Okay, but for this tutorial I will make it ½ inch both up and down. So from here now I'll connect it in a slanted form to meet the bust, the ½ inch we came down. So from this point I'll connect it like so. I'll curve it. Okay, so that's it, and also curve it this way to meet the half inches. So that's it. Then also I'll connect this all the way down. Remember we added extra 2 inches. The actual measurement is 16 inches. Okay, so let me also make it a straight line. The actual half length is 16 inches. Remember we added 2 extra inches. So now at this point I'm going to take it all the way down. From the center front I'll connect it straight line. Also center side I'll take it all the way down. So that's it. Okay, so what else I'm going to do now is to work out the armhole area. That's for the princess dart. So what I'm going to do now is to take this, look for the center point, which is 4. I'll mark 4 at this point. Okay, so I'm going to connect this all the way in a slanted form to meet the half length we came up in a slanted form. Okay, I can make it in a straight line. So like so, I'll connect it. Okay, so we are going to curve this. It's not supposed to be in a sharp form, so I'm going to curve it like so. Okay, the shape is already coming out, it's already out. So what else I'm going to do, at this center point I'll come down just 1 inch. Okay, I'll take it 1 inch. I'll also take it all the way in a curvy form, like so. So I'm going to take it all the way to also meet at the half length I came up, the half length we came up. So I'll connect it like so. Are you seeing it? Okay. So now what else I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to take it up. Remember we came down 1 inch. I'm also going to, let's take our first curve first. So now the bust circumference is 38 into 4. We have 9.5. Okay, I'll mark 9.5 at this point. Okay, I'm going to mark 9.5. Then what I'm going to do now is to mark, what do we have here? The dart reduction is, what we have here is 1 inch. Okay, I'm going to add back the 1 inch. Okay, what we have here is 1 inch. Okay, after cutting, here we are going to remove some things or allowances from here, so you need to add it back. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a curve from this. This is the second, this is the initial one. So I'm going to create a curve from the initial half length, initial midpoint. Remember, just curve it like so. Okay, so that's it. So from this extension, I'll curve it to meet the midpoint. After the 1 inch we came down, so I'm going to extend it back. Okay, I'm going to connect it back so that after cutting we'll not run short of the fabric. So from this point, I'll take it 1 inch up. Okay, so I'll take it 1 inch up. So right now I've gone up 1 inch. Okay, let's take note of that. So coming back to our bust circumference, which we have added back the dart. Okay, 1 inch. So I'm going to add our sewing allowance. I'm going to add 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches like so. So also at the bust, this and the bust is the same, so I'm going to take it down. So coming down to the under bust. The under bust of my client is 33, and what we have is 8.25. So then we have that reduction here. So what we remove here, remember we came in 2 inches here and half inch, so 2.5 inches altogether. I'm going to add it back, then 3 inches seam allowance. Okay, so also the waist, which is 36 into 4, we have 9 inches. Okay, so I'm going to add back what we're going to remove, which is 2.5 inches. That is 2.5. We have 2.5 plus 3 inches allowance. So I'm going to connect this like so. Okay, so I connected it like so, and also to meet our bust. So coming up to this extension, I'm going to extend it like so. So I'm going to connect it all the way to this allowance. Okay, so I'll connect it like so. From this extension, 1 inch extension, I'll take it all the way to the allowance. So that's all for our bustier, princess dart bustier. Okay, so what else I'm going to do now is to put in our neckline depth. Remember, we have marked the neck width, which is 3.5. So from here, I'm going to, like I said before, the front will have a V shape. Okay, a V neckline. So I'm going to come down 7 inches for our V neckline. So I'm going to take it all the way from this 3.5 inches. From the 3.5 inches, I'll connect it like so. So that's it. So I'm going to create the V shape. You could make yours slanty. Let me use my pattern master. It could be in this form. Okay, slanty form. Okay, you could make it in a straight line. But for this tutorial, I want it to be in a straight line, so I'll connect it in a straight form, okay? Like so. So that's our V. So I'm going to cut it shoulder slant, then I'll cut, give it. So let's watch as I do the cutting. Remember, this is where we're going to cut now, the actual curve, okay? Armhole curve, not this one, okay? Remember, we extended. So let's watch as I cut. So guys, make sure you watch this video to the end, to the very end, okay? Ask question, please, at the comment section, please make sure you ask question. Also comment, like and share the video, and also subscribe. So I'm going to cut the dart, that allowance we created. So I'll cut out the V shape. So that's all for this. Is the front, this is the side. So I'm going to cut out an interfacing for it. That's a paper stay. I'll attach a paper stay for it to make it to have stability and to have volume, okay? So for the back bodies, I've gone ahead and folded the fabric into two, like so, and I've created the starting line, which is the shoulder line. The shoulder measurement is 8, so I'll start from the zip allowance. I've also gone ahead and mapped out 1.5 inches for the zip allowance, okay? So starting from this line, the zip allowance line, I'll mark out 8 inches, okay, plus half inch for joining to the sleeve. So I'll come down at this point 1 inch, okay? Remember, our neck width is 3.5. Neck width is always the same, okay? The neck depth can differ, but neck width is always the same measurement. So for this tutorial, I'll be taking 1.5 for the neck depth. That's for the back bodies, 1.5 inches, like so. So I'm going to connect it, okay? Okay, so now what I'll do is to connect my shoulder slant to make the neck width. So I'll connect it like so in a slanted form. So what next is to take down the armhole depth, which is 8 inches. So I'll connect it in this form, in a straight line, okay? So I'm going to extend the line. I'll extend the line like so. Okay. Remember I said we are going to apply a normal dart on the back bodies, okay? So the bust circumference, starting from the zip allowance line, bust circumference is 9.5. I'll mark 9.5 here, okay? I'll put down 2 inches, okay? 2 inches for seam allowance. So at this midpoint, this is the back, I will take in the shoulder measurement, that is the midpoint, okay? So at this point, I'm going to come up in this angle. At this angle, I'll take it up 1 inch. So from here, I'm going to curve it to meet the center line, like so, okay? So I'm going to connect it. So, like so. So that's for our bust. Now for the half length. Remember, the half length is 16 inches. So for the back, I'm going to add just 1 inch for joining, okay? Because the back does not really have a bust here. So I added 1 inch that is 17 inches for joining, half inch for joining to the peplum and half for joining at the shoulder area. So what we have here is 17 inches. So the waist is 36. 36 divided by 4, we have 9 inches. So starting from this line, I'll mark 9 inches, okay? So add 1 inch for the dart. Remember I said we are going to put in just normal dart, then 2 inches for seam allowance. So I'm going to connect it like so to meet the chest line. So that's it for the back body. So I'm going to cut this right now. So here we have the back body. So I'm going to slit it into 2. So for the back bush, okay, I'm going to eliminate zip bush here at the waist area. I'm going to come in half inch, okay? I'll come in half inch at this point. At this point, I'll come in half inch, and I'm going to connect it all the way up in a slanted form. I'll cut it off, I'll trim it off. This will eliminate any zip bush, okay? So I'm going to cut it like so. So here we have the zip bush eliminated. So what else I'm going to do now? I'm going to apply a pepper stay on it, then cut lining for it and shawls. So I've ironed out pepper stay on it, okay, the side and the center front, so also the back. And I've also gone ahead and cut out lining piece for each of them. So I'll cut out a waddy. Here we have this waddy. Here is always shining. This is the gummy side, while this is the normal side, okay? So I'm going to fold it and notch the bust point, okay? Very important during cutting out waddy piece, okay? From the shoulder, I'll come down 11 inches. That's the bust point, okay? So I'm going to notch it at this point, and also the under bust of 14.5 inches, okay? So I also give it a notch like so. So to the side, we have the under bust here, and we have the bust point here. So I'm going to give it a slight notch. Also on the other side, I also give it a slight notch. So now I'm going to cut out a waddy piece. So I've gone ahead and cut out a waddy. This is for the center front. It will rest from the under bust, okay? Remember from the chest line, we came down 1 inch. Also, I came down 1 inch from here. This is the center point. Starting from the under bust, it's going to rest like this. I'm going to stitch right there on it using 1/4 inch, okay? All through. So now to join the center front to the center back. So what I'm going to do now, start from, I always like starting from the lower, the half waistline, okay? So I'm going to fold it this way. I'll join it under bust to under bust, okay? And then we notch the bust point. So I'm going to fold it this way and start stitching using 1/2 inch, okay? To stitch the two. I'll back stitch. As you are stitching, you are adjusting it, okay? Just this way. Joining, making sure you are joining using 1/2 inch because it has already been marked out for you. So see how it is already. Okay, so now I've joined the sides to the center front like so. See how it is already. See our bust here, princess that bust here. So what I'm going to do now, I'll flip it like so. Okay, I'm going to notch give it a notch from the center point. I'll notch it all around. Okay, then after which I'm going to iron it. I'll do the same on the other side. So I'm going to iron it out now. Then at the same time, I'm going to join the lining just the same way I joined the fabric. Okay, I'll join it side to side. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So now I've gone ahead and iron it out. So what I'm going to do is to stitch in the lining, okay, on the neckline. So I'm going to close in the V-shaped neckline like so. Okay, I'll turn it up with the lining. Then after that, I will join the side, okay, and flip it to the right side. Remember, we are going to fix peplum at the waistline, okay. So I'll flip it up. Also, I've gone ahead and joined the back bodies, okay, with the lining. I've turned it up with the lining. So what else I'm going to do is to close in the zipper allowance, okay, then fix the dart. Okay, so for the dart, what I will do here, starting from the zip allowance, okay, after turning in the lining, what will be left for zip allowance will be 1 inch. So I will mark 1 inch like so, all through 1 inch, all through for the zip allowance. So we have 1 inch like so. So starting from this 1 inch for the dart, remember our bust measurement of my client is 4 plus ½ inch for joining, that is 4.5. Then for the back bodies, starting from the shoulder, I will come down to 8 inches, okay, that's for my dart. Then I'll take it up like so. Then I'll come in ½ inch on both sides, ½ inch on both sides. I'll connect it like so. The way I'm connecting it, that's the way I'm going to stitch on it, okay. So I'll connect it like so. So on this, I'm going to join it starting from this, taking note of the straight line, okay. So this is ½ inch, ½ inch. I'm going to stitch it all the way down. So I also do the same on the other side. Then I'll join it on the zip with the zip allowance, okay. Then I'll close in this and fix it to the front bodies with the actual body measurement, okay, and show us. So now I've joined the front bodies, okay. Here is the lining I used in turning it up, okay. So now what I'm going to do now, and also I've joined the zip allowance for the back. So I'm going to flip right side facing each other like so, right side facing each other. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to close shoulder to shoulder. So I'll turn it like so. I'll match the two center points together, okay. So I'll fasten it with a pin. I'll hold it down with a pin, the center point against each other, and I'll stitch right through using ½ inch, okay, sorry, using ½ inch, lining to lining, then fabric to fabric, ½ inch, okay. So I'm going to do this on the two shoulders, then after which I'll join the sides like so. So we have the bust circumference of my client to be 38 inches. 38 divided by 2 because we have the front and the back together. So I'm going to push out our bustier out before taking in the measurements. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, 38 divided by 2, we have 19 inches. So I'll mark at the chest line 19 inches like so, the way you see me doing it. Okay, so I'll look for the excess. Okay, what I have here is 3 inches. 3 divided by 2, I have 1.5. So I'm going to mark 1.5 on both sides. So 1.5 inches on both sides. So for the waist circumference is 36. 36 divided by 2, we have 18 inches. So I'm going to mark, look for the midpoint of 18 inches. So we have 18 right here. So what I'm going to do now, what I have left is 2.5 inches. I will fold it, I'll divide it by 2. Okay, so I'll mark it like so, 1 2/4, 3/4, 1 3/4. So I'll mark it like so. So I'm going to connect it all the way to this point. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to close it, then close the shoulder, and I'll show us. So I've joined the sides. Okay, here is our facing. I've joined the sides. Okay, remember initially the length for the front bodies we did 18 inches. Okay, so let's confirm what we have here. We have 16.5 here. So it's always good while making your princess dart or bustier, you add extra 2 inches. Okay, because by the time you join it in this slanty form, it will take
So guys, we've come to the end of this tutorial.
And also,
if this tutorial has been so helpful to you in any way, please kindly click on that subscribe button. Okay, like the video, share it to your friends and family so that people can as well benefit from this. Okay, thank you so much. Love you guys till we meet in my next tutorial.